The Disney ride is shut down after a man farts on.
Welcome to Demasked. My name is Fresman, and today I'm joined by Void the Warlock. Void, how are you doing today?
I am doing pretty good.
Now, your more recent videos caught my eye. Like, even the thumbnails are gripping, like the Erased from History and YouTube's Darkest Rabbit Hole, and this, like, something about the face on dinner.mp4, the lost media you'll never see.
Yeah.
I've recently fallen down a rabbit hole of like documentary type videos, and like specifically lost media has been really catching my eye recently, and I think I found you at just the right time.
Yeah, I just started getting into the whole lost media thing. I was not expecting ever to get into lost media videos, but I am here now.
Well, so the first video on your channel that I can see is just the phrase "anonymous is a bunch of boomers."
Yeah.
Care to explain?
Yeah, so I was probably like 15, 16 when I made that video, but I was trying to get into like the commentary niche. I had a lot more videos on this channel before that one, but all of them were like Destiny gameplay related videos. And at that time I was watching a lot of like people like Pyrocynical, Moist Critical, and so I wanted to kind of get into there. And then I saw something on, I think, Instagram, where it was just like a weird anonymous hacker post. No, it was on YouTube. I found an anonymous channel, and they were just saying some really dumb stuff, and I just wanted to rant about it.
So, how did the transition start from like commentary to like spookier lost media?
I have always kind of had a soft spot for horror on YouTube. And I didn't really know where I wanted to go halfway through making my YouTube account and like really taking it seriously. At first I started with commentary, and then it kind of like dipped into a weird drama area, and I didn't know if I really wanted to do that too much, but I felt really bottlenecked into it. Because one of my first videos that blew up, and the video that took me to like 1,000 subs, was about Illuminati, which is this content creator who she made a bunch of like videos on like corporate corruption, all that fun, and turns out she was very corrupt in her own business, and it just blew up in her face. That got like 70K views, and I was like, okay, then I guess people want this. Went down that route, and it really wasn't paying off as well as I was hoping, so I just started throwing stuff at the wall. Eventually, I hit a video called Disney's Disturbing Cult Town, which at first did not do well whatsoever. But I thought it was my best video, so I re-uploaded it, and then it hit like 160,000 views. That was pretty spooky, I guess. It was kind of like in the horror genre. I did not take the hint that that is what I should probably be doing, and I kept going down the commentary, throwing stuff at the wall mixed with drama, and it just was not paying off. I almost gave up. I like fully regret not taking that sign and just like going for it from there. And then like flash forward probably like a year after that, I dropped a video called Million Pity. It's about like the monkey hate rabbit hole, and that did better than most of my videos do in the time span that it was up. Still did not take the hint. Kept going, kept going, and eventually I just burnt out. I was just like, I don't care about drama. I can't care. I do not care if Glub Shido down the road ended up getting into beef with Gwandale 69. It just didn't matter to me.
Shout out to Glub Shido.
Yeah, shout out Glub Shido, my man. But it just, I don't know, it burnt me out, and I just didn't want to do it. So I was like, okay, I'm either going to be a video essay channel or a horror channel. We're going to figure out which one is going to work. And so I made 3 different scripts, 3 different videos, paused everything, put all of my effort into these, and I just dropped one of them to test it, which was Sad Satan. And I asked my viewers if they liked that video, and apparently they really did, because it's now sitting at 124,000 views. So it was either that or I go back to making like video essay drama content, and I really didn't want to do that. So I stuck with my guns, stuck with what the audience wanted, and here we are now.
So I don't believe I've ever had a, like, even former almost, oh god, I lost the word, a former commentary channel on the show before. And I have a question in regards to the subjects that you've covered, the people that you've covered in the past, and that is, given the chance, who that you've already covered, who would you personally interview?
Oh my god. So I did a video on Boogie, and the reason I did a video on Boogie was because I have a friend, real good friend, shout out Lock is Live. He's connected to Keemstar, or was connected to Keemstar.
Oh.
Who was also about to give us a Boogie interview. And so the plan for that video was that I was going to interject the Boogie interview in between parts of the video to kind of have it like be a major hit piece, all that fun. He backed out at like the last minute, so...
I mean, are you surprised?
Not really, no. Not at all.
Oh man, that's a solid pick, because the one I was staring at while I was asking that question was the Gypsy Rose Blanchard one.
Oh yeah, dude, I don't know if I would want to talk to that woman.
Yeah,
she is crazy.
Fair. I do have, okay, I will mention I did try to interview Verbal Ace.
Oh.
But I want to say I sent him an email maybe a month before the
thing,
the music video came out, and because I was a fan of his work with the rap battles, and I was unaware of all the other shit.
Yeah, I think everyone at that point in time was very blindsided by what had just happened. Because it wasn't even just like a music video. It was also like he dropped like, what was it, like 60,000? Somewhere around there. Crazy.
I think if I ever got the chance to talk to him, like now, after all that, I just want to know if it was worth it.
Well, I mean, I guess to him it was. He did it again. He made another weird, like, Five Nights at Freddy's fetish video. Almost, like, 3 months after that, so...
Sorry, I feel like I just got flashbanged. What did you just say to me?
Yeah, so... Not that long after that whole situation happened, he doubled down and did another one.
I'm just gonna go ahead and open up his channel. Is it on his channel?
I don't know. It was so long ago. I just remember everyone freaking out on Twitter that he just went for it again. It was about that new FNAF game. The one with like the Rockstar Fox thing.
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and put Verbal Ace FNAF and see what falls out the other side. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of different stuff, but not from him, and that I don't know why that worries me more.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it, because there's no way he took it down. Yeah, it was the Glamrock Chica beatbox FNAF security breach animation. He dropped it 7 months ago. Oh, he did a whole like series of them.
Oh. You know what? You know what? I can't. I'm trying to like. Well, maybe it's. No, I can't.
It's just where he wants to go, man. I don't know. I have no idea.
If it makes him happy, I mean.
Yeah.
What do you think the end game's going to be? Where do you think it's going to go? Where do you think it's going to land?
Dude, I don't know. Probably Fortnite skin beatbox challenge.
Oh no! Oh no! Or it's gonna be like one of those animations for mobile games.
Yeah.
Dig the tunnel, collect the diamonds, and suddenly you have a minigun. You ever just get really tired when you look at somebody's channel?
Oh yeah, yeah. It used to happen all the time.
Now, by your moral compass, who do you venture in terms of past subjects? Who do you think is the worst person you've covered?
There's been a lot. I've covered some horrific people. I have a video of like the top 5 worst YouTubers ever, and it's just like murderers, psychopaths, abusers, like just a bunch of horrible stuff. So probably Ruby Frank, honestly.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Killers, psychopaths, Vosh, equally all on the same playing field.
Yep, just about.
I like. So thankfully I've skirted around, like, I should mention I have no like pull in terms of popularity in that regard of like getting big names of like, you know, Gerard the Completionist or anything like that. Like, I'm just firing from what I'm seeing on your channel. But I know for a fact that if I get anybody that's been covered on like your channel, or I'm trying to think of who else, like Turkey Tom or Jobry, and I think the first question would be, instead of how's it going today, it would be, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, there is a lot of people online that have done some absurd shit, just ridiculous, out of pocket things that should not be done or talked about, but they do it anyways, and it just got draining after a while.
Yeah.
I think the thing that really made me the videos are no longer up publicly, but the drama cycle that I quit in was Dream came back because Tommy Innit started fighting with Dream and just like picking fights and was really going at it. And that gave me the realization both of these people are horrific, and I do not care about such small, petty drama that is going to get me nothing but hate to talk about from either side. And I was just like, okay, I'm done. I don't care.
Like, on one hand, sure, you'll get attention, but at the same time, it's not good attention.
Nor is it really fun to talk about. It's fun to get mad at points in time and just be like, yeah, this dude did this thing, what a scumbag. But also, like, I didn't hop into YouTube to simply get popularity. I like taking time with my videos. And I wanted to, after a while, I wanted to just see if I could change the commentary space a little bit because I noticed there was this trend of people just being like, hey guys, so today this dude did this thing, haha, so funny, like and subscribe, and like end the video right there after making like 10 shitty jokes one after another, basically no editing. I wanted to be like, hey, maybe we should put some effort back into our content like how they did back in the day with like H3H3 and iDubbbz and all those dudes, how they edited and put skits in and stuff like that. I felt like that would be a better way. But that is really, really, really hard to do because that takes time to do. And it became this this thing where I had to give up some topics if I wanted to do that. Because the way the internet works nowadays, things just move so fast. And the moment something is done being talked about, that's it. You're not getting views. You're barely getting like maybe 100 if you're lucky, if the editing was good enough to warrant that. It's better in the drama commentary community space to be on time than it is to actually edit your videos. And I did not like that.
Or if you can like show up saying something that, 30 other channels haven't covered already. And like, I think there is I hesitate to say market, but there's a structure to that can be done where I'm not a big fan of, I've seen other commentary channels where it's like, oh, here is stuff they've done allegedly but with no follow-up in terms of evidence, even a screenshot or something like that. It's just, yeah, they did that also later, bye.
Yeah.
But the saving grace for certain channels is like, hey, this happened, and here is a video from their channel where it happened. Here is follow-up and also direct connection, like direct communication with this person that they admit to doing it.
Yeah. I don't understand certain, and this is again another like million reasons why I've left the commentary space, or specifically like the drama commentary space, is just because there's not a lot of nuance. There's not a lot of people really trying to get the facts right. It was mainly just people rushing to be first. Almost always. Because what they end up doing is they just make a follow-up video. It's more content for them. If they get something wrong in one video, they can just make a second video and still grab as much attention as possible.
Yeah, I can quite literally see like the title of the video of like, so I got this wrong about so-and-so,
Yeah.
Or like, something new has come to light about so-and-so. I just, like, I had this image in my head of like, I could title this interview with like the BS, like clickbait, like, so I talked to Void the Warlock.
The funny thing is, I think if you did that, you wouldn't even end up, it wouldn't necessarily look like it's tied to my channel. It would look like Destiny content. Because my name is like a straight up curse. You can't find my content if you look my channel up half of the time. Because most of the time you're just going to get like Void Warlock subclass builds of 2024. Every single time. It's ridiculous.
I mean, hey, you got. So is that where the name originated?
Oh yeah, I made this channel when I was like 12.
Gotcha.
I was really big into Destiny as well.
I've had the Fresman handle since 2008.
Damn.
Shut up. Shut up. Just shut up. See, now that's where the drama video starts. Void was being mean to me on my show.
I don't even remember what my YouTube account was in 2008. It was like Black Star or something along those lines. Long gone.
Shadowblade 69 something or other.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever seen the movie The Benchwarmers?
I have not.
So, my old screen name before this, not a YouTube channel, but my old Steam username was Beef Stew 101.
Interesting.
Do you know what a beef stew is?
Outside of the food, no, not really.
It's from the movie The Benchwarmers, and it is described as farting in somebody's face, like a bullying tactic.
Ah, I see.
And so I'm like, ha ha ha! I'm gonna bully people playing video games, and I'm like 14. I should have. It was a long time ago. Here's a new way to hurt my feelings. Do you know what Half-Life is?
I do know what Half-Life is, yes. Never played them.
Good.
But I do know about them.
So that's fine. That's fine. I have a Half-Life tattoo. I have a lambda on my forearm. And I happen to live in a college town, and I want to say 90% of my customers that come into my store don't know what it is.
That makes sense. It didn't really take off outside of the internet, honestly, which sucks because from what I have heard, great games. What I have seen, great games.
Highly recommend. And yes, I am biased. But the first time I met my coworkers, it was literally like, hey, is that a Borderlands tattoo? No.
Now that is a game I have played religiously for quite a long time.
I had a BS experience with Borderlands 2 that soured the entirety of playing any of them from there on out.
What happened?
So, back when Borderlands 2 was out on the 360, they had a really weird leveling issue where if you had somebody on your team that was really high level and you weren't, it would put the level of the guns that were dropped closer to their level. And so we make it to the end, we defeat the dragon, we defeat Handsome Jack, and we there's that huge fountain of guns that shoots out.
Yeah.
I can't use a single one.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. They did not have the matching level system that they had within Borderlands 3.
Well, the thing is, I would have totally forgiven it if it was I don't know, maybe within 4 or 5 levels of where I was at the time. Nope, it was hey, you need to get 20 levels higher.
And my buddy did that a couple times with the the New Game Plus weapons, because he would he probably ran through New Game Plus 8 times. So he dragged me in with a level 10 character into his server, and all of the weapons were completely unusable for the foreseeable future. I could not touch any of these things.
And what's worse is right after that happened, my buddy picked him up and he's like, man, these guns are so cool, check this out. And he's shooting them. I'm like, yeah, it is really cool. Sure wish I could have one. Now, question for you. What is your, and I'm talking not current, your top of the hill favorite game of all time?
Huh. It would have to be Warframe or Destiny. It's a tough decision between the two. Probably more
What
so Warframe, honestly.
what what build do you use? What 10 you hit rocking?
I run Goss at the moment just because I really like being fast. Before that, it was Harrow. I didn't have the Prime version. This was back before Prime Harrow was even conceived. And then it was Valkyr and then Loki.
For me, when it comes to customization and like character builds, I'm really stubborn that I'll pick just one that I like, and then that's it forever, and then I'll just expand upon that one character. So it was Excalibur for the longest time because I really liked the look of Excalibur, but then I got Rhino, and I stuck with Rhino forever.
I'm almost the same way, but the way I play Warframe, I go out and like I just hunt for primes. I don't even bother with most of the normal frames unless they really catch my eye. Just so that way I have them and can mess around with them to see if I like them or not. Goss has been the only one that I've actually cared for the experience just because of how fast that dude is. It is ridiculous how fast that Warframe is. It's like the fastest character I've played in a game.
Did they ever? So I haven't played Warframe in a couple of years. Did they ever change that weird the space missions where you're like free floating in space?
No, they haven't changed that.
Well, like the weird scaling thing they did, where to save on memory, they shrunk the player character.
I don't know if they changed that. I have no idea.
Huh.
They haven't really done anything with those missions from what I can tell. I had to run through all of them last time I played so that way I could clear the map out.
I have it on my PC, but I know for a fact that if I reinstall it, it's gonna just eat any available free time that I have.
It'll do that, yeah.
Like the same thing happened to me with like Star Wars: The Old Republic.
That makes sense. I have not touched that game yet for that exact reason because I know the moment I make my character, it's done.
So I will say the Jedi quest line kind of talked me out of doing it because it teases you with a lightsaber for a little too long before you ever get one.
I see.
It's like, oh, cool, look at this lightsaber you found on the ground. Hand it over to me, and then they just leave. It's like, great, cool, thanks.
That sucks, dude.
Well, I mean, I would be like a trooper or something, but it's not the. I'm a big Star Wars fan. It's not like the regular Imperial stormtroopers. Those are my favorite.
That's pretty valid, I guess. Is that like, do they have options for you to be like, how do I say this? Does the character you pick or the character type in that game, does that change the story?
If I remember, they have different routes that you take. Like, there's one sort of linear, overarching story, but the route that you take to get there changes for, like, per class.
Understandable, because it would be strange if they were just like, all right, here's the baseline story. No matter what you choose, oh, you chose like bounty hunter, cool. Here's a lightsaber.
Yeah. No, if I remember, specific like classes and routes have specific items and weapons tied to them.
Hmm.
That said, I'd love to be a trooper with a lightsaber. That'd be amazing. But no. Or oh geez, you ever play DC Universe Online?
I have not, no.
That so if you are you a fan of like comic books and whatnot?
Yes, but I have not read much.
That's fair. So that game, it feels like everybody's trying their hardest to violate copyright law. Because it's like, oh, it's Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman, and then you load into the game and other players are dressed like Deadpool and Spider-Man and Captain Planet.
I mean, that makes sense. You give people customization in a game like that, and it's going to be all over the place.
Make your own hero. I'm going to make my hero. I know we got off topic. I'm sorry.
You're good, dude.
Unfortunately, that is the through line of this entire show.
I mean, it works. It's fun.
Now, thumbnail of yours caught my eye, and I do have a question about it. What to you signifies a Disney adult?
Oh, man. A, like, ridiculous, fervent following of Disney itself. For one reason or another, if there is a hyperfixation on Disney memorabilia, Disney shows, Disney movies, and like inescapable Disney, that's a Disney adult. You can basically tell by the looks of it, honestly. They'll have like a Disney tattoo, Disney shirt. You talk to them, they're going to be talking to you about Disney.
Now, so I don't know if you feel the same way, but not so much the overarching Disney, like, Mickey Mouse and whatnot, but there are two specific characters, at least in the place where I live, that is the biggest marker for a Disney adult appearing in front of you. It's either Grogu or Stitch. I don't know why.
Alien characters.
Right? But every time I see like a backpack, I'm like, oh, it's happening.
The indicators are weird, dude. They, I don't know what it is about Disney adults, man.
I need to make like a those, what's it, like Local 58, like the warning signs.
Like an ARG for Disney adults?
Yeah.
That would go crazy, actually.
If you see a lone woman wearing a Lilo and Stitch backpack, do not engage. Back away slowly. And drop your Baby Yoda themed Crocs.
You can make like a Meat Canyon type of vibe of a video out of that, dude. That'd be crazy. That actually works like as a horror concept.
Are you familiar with Chick Tracks?
I am not.
Oh, I'll give you a free subject for your channel. This is a fun one. So Jack Trick was like a fundamentalist Christian who made. They are called Chick Tracks. They're little booklets that were like the dangers of your child playing Dungeons and Dragons or Pokemon as a satanic cult. But completely based in fantasy. And the funny thing is, those are still made to this day. And like I think I have one somewhere in my house because somebody came by and put one on our door.
I see.
But it was literally just like, if your friends told you to go to the other side of the tracks, would you follow them? Like, it's so bizarre because it's stuff that's leaning on common sense and then takes a hard left turn to like they could be Satanists. Why that?
Yeah, the Satanic Panic was a crazy time. I have a video, old video on my channel kind of about that. I was going to make a follow-up to that video for a friend of mine because he really liked that video. And I just never got around to it. That would actually be a very interesting topic to cover again because the Satanic Panic was a wild time.
Do it, man. Like, take that idea and run. Like, what a bizarre... Like, I get the Dungeons and Dragons thing, kind of, because it's like, you know, fighting demons and so on and so forth. But the Pokemon one?
Yeah, it was like, from my understanding of it, when it comes down to Pokemon and stuff, like, it was anything that came out of Asia. It was straight up like people using religion as an excuse to be racist. Because it wasn't just Pokemon. It was like Godzilla. It was Power Rangers. It was Yu-Gi-Oh! Anything you could think of, they were targeting.
You know, Ultraman, when he arrives, if you look close, you can see a 666 on his chest.
I'm not joking. That's like legitimately some of the talking points that I heard when making that video. It was about this specific pastor that I came across, but he was saying like the swirl on some of the Pokemon stomachs was like a symbol of evil.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that one. And there was something, if I recall, it was like counting the stripes on Pikachu's back was a symbol for like Baphomet.
That the upside down lightning bolt was a symbol of the devil. The Mewtwo is a demon, stuff like that. Absolutely insane time to be a kid. And people ate it up. People, like, when they heard their preachers talk about this stuff, they ate it up. There was a lot of I was doing research on it. There's a lot of trauma from that time of people like just coming home with Pokemon cards. Someone comes home with like a first edition Charizard, and their family just burns it, cuts it up.
Oh, yep. I like thankfully didn't grow up in that type of household, and like, how do I word it? I grew up in a way that if I ever became a father in the future, it's how I'd like to handle. What's the term I'm looking for? Did you ever? I think it's a quintessential part of growing up. But did you ever watch a horror movie when you were way too young to watch one?
Oh yeah.
So my dad did that consistently, but what he did was he treated it like contraband. Not so much, I'm confiscating this, DVD of Friday the 13th or something. It was like he was the dealer in a anti-smoking PSA. Like he'd lean into my room and he's like, "Hey, you want to watch Freddy vs. Jason?" Yes, I do. But I don't know. It made it seem cooler to me that was like, hey, listen to the System of a Down album, but keep your headphones in.
Yeah, my mom was into rock for a good minute. Didn't really pick up with me, but it did. I had a phase of going through like Slipknot, System of a Down, Five Finger Death Punch, and then I just kind of got tired of it. I think I just overexposed myself to that type of music, and I was like, eh.
I had a bit of a metalhead phase in middle school, but it was that like it's, when I say metalhead, I don't mean like, oh, I'm listening to screamo. It's the like movie equivalent of metal. It's like I'm gonna listen to the tough stuff, like Green Day. Like it. I mean, I still do occasionally, but
Yeah, Green Day's good.
I when I was a kid, I used to be able to tell bands apart by the sound of their lead guitar.
I can still do that, dude. It is crazy.
I can only do it for one band, and thankfully I love that band. I can only do it for Megadeth. That said, you got a favorite band? Doesn't have to be rock.
I listen to a lot of different music. I don't know if I have a favorite band. I'm like, my music taste is everywhere. I can listen to rock. I can listen to metal. I can listen to folk, rap. The only thing I refuse to listen to outside of one song is country, and that is it.
Now, I'm glad you and I are on the same page on that one. But for me, I hate country. I hate country music so much, but I do enjoy the occasional one that tells an actual story.
Oh yeah,
not just truck beer and
I was
my
about to
wife
say,
left me.
most modern country is literally just that. You have to go back to when Johnny Cash was around.
Oh yeah. Well, like thankfully there's some standouts, just few and far between. Like the store that I work in currently plays country music back to front, like day in, day out. And there's one song, all the other songs suck. They're just like, for some reason a lot of them use the term good girl, which creeps me out.
It's crazy how absolutely misogynistic country is. It is insane.
But there was one, I'm pretty sure the song is just straight up called I Need a New Truck. And I was so, like, it sounds like the same, beats and drums you hear in every song. But I started listening to the lyrics because I was bored out of my mind. And it's like, oh, he's actually talking about how he can't stand driving his truck because his ex used to, like, drive around with him, and he can't stand being in there because everything in there reminds him of her. And I'm like, okay, I can kind of get behind that. I'm not going to look it up, and I'm sure as shit not going to save it to my Spotify, but I'll observe it from a distance.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I have a favorite band, honestly.
I've got a favorite, but it's more so due to nostalgia. So, please withhold your judgments unless you can't.
Go for it, dude. I don't judge.
Weezer.
That, you know what? Some people are gonna say that's a bad choice. I'm gonna stand firmly with you that is a great band. One of the greats.
Dude, their early stuff is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why I thought you were gonna like take a hard left at the end there. Like, most people say that band's terrible, and I'm right there with them. Now, do you have a specific genre that you tend to lean more toward? I know you and I are both sort of all over the road when it comes to music.
Currently, the music that I have been like really listening to, and this is just like for work purposes at this point, is just Adult Swim bumps. Not even like an actual genre, just Adult Swim bumps.
That's a pretty good pick. I'm not gonna lie.
Heavy nostalgia for me. The beats are practically just archaic lo-fi before lo-fi came out. And so I just, whenever I'm editing, that is what I'm listening to. Outside of that, like Mac Miller.
There you go. I've been trying to listen to more hip hop. I've recently picked up a good amount of MF Doom.
MF Doom is pretty good, pretty solid choice.
And well, the so my roommate years ago tried to sell it to me, and I should mention I've had this channel like with this face that you're seeing on Discord here for about almost 10 years. And when I was living with my roommate, he goes, "You should listen to MF Doom. He's a masked man just like you." I appreciate that.
Yeah, MF Doom is really good.
What was the other one? Run the Jewels is pretty good.
Outside of Mac Miller, it's probably lots of Macs because Mac DeMarco's next one. Probably like the top 3 things I have listened to over the past 6 months is Adult Swim Bumps, Mac Miller, and Mac DeMarco.
Now, so do you choose your music based on like feeling?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I go for a lot more like chill, laid back type of beats.
I do this thing whenever I listen to music. Whenever I'm playing a game and listening to music, I like to listen to music that is tonally the opposite of what I'm playing. So like super calm and like closing in on lo-fi for like playing Doom Eternal.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you could be listening to like elevator music while just slaying demons. I get that though. That's a vibe.
It's honest, like it helps me focus more.
Yeah.
And then when I play something like relaxing, like hold on, I'm pretty sure there's a good example I have sitting in my Steam library. Yeah, like playing Stanley Parable, like no fights, no boss fights, no nothing, straight narrative experience. I'm listening to like Megadeth and Extortionist.
That is just like being narrated to super calmly while having death metal in the back is crazy.
I'm not sure when I started doing it or why, but it's just nice. If I remember, I used to listen to Tornado of Souls by Megadeth while playing Animal Crossing.
And that is a crazy mix.
Oh, I should start a playlist and start like sharing it. I like so desperately trying to veer back on course now, but I know, I'm sorry.
Good dude.
But so when it comes to lost media, if you could have the answer to like any lost media out there that hasn't currently been found, what would it be?
That is a real tough one. Let's see. a lot of the darker shit I think needs to kind of just stay gone for the most part.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anything that I've covered outside of maybe the latest one, which was like Shamu the Beginning, should be realistically found. Everything else that I have so far has been atrocious, and the stories behind them, terrible. Maybe there's this really old movie, like I think it was called like Noah's Ark or something like that, and a bunch of people died in the original filming of it, and because of that, the movie is like half gone.
Huh.
Maybe that one, but I don't know if it would be dependent on if that scene is cut out or not, because apparently it was like the director told everyone that he is actually flooding the set, and a bunch of people drowned.
Oh God.
And he was just like, I told them beforehand they should be prepared, which was absolutely unnecessary.
All right, get ready to drown and action.
Or The Crow.
Oh yeah. Like, I would love to see like what set of circumstances, what was put where for that to occur.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, I want to see. You ever see like the early build of like a game trailer,
Yeah.
like where they haven't nailed down? I want to see finished products off of those concepts.
Yeah, Destiny had something very similar like that happen, because the original like alpha footage that they showed was an entirely different story from what we actually ended up getting, and it was a very interesting concept. So
For Warframe, when are they gonna expand on Dark Sector?
dude, they kind of have something in like the Dark Sector vein now, because they made a like segment of Warframe called Warframe 1999, which is a lot more like there's like these things called proto frames, which are like humanoid frames with faces and they talk and stuff. It is pretty interesting.
Huh. I want to get the background on that weird like early version of Excalibur that shows up in Dark Sector. I want the full story. I want a 12-hour game out of that.
Hopefully they put Easter eggs or at least like launch something. Digital Extremes has a soft spot for a lot of their older stuff, so
Now, how wide do you think I mean it fits the name of the channel, but how wide do you think the void is when it comes to lost media? Because I mean, there's your basic idea of lost media, which is stories that just never got written or did get written and never get published. But then there's like stuff that was released and then pulled.
from the definition that a lot of people within the lost media community use, it is strictly content that had cultural impact of some sort and then was either taken down, unarchived for some reason, or is just, as the name suggests, just lost somehow, some way. Because if everything is technically considered lost media, then that means like if I make a drawing of a stick figure and I throw it away, now that's lost media. It doesn't. Simply because it is made does not necessarily mean it is important enough to be found. And that's kind of the distinction of lost media from what I can gather. It's the same reason why a lot of YouTube videos are not considered lost media if they get deleted or if they get privated or the channel shuts down, because they're just not culturally impactful enough for a large amount of people to care to find it.
Well, then there's like, I guess it'd fall under like act of God things where it's like, hey, this film was played once and then like a fire broke out and all the copies went with the fire.
It would depend on like what the story behind that film was at that point, because the same thing kind of happened with Shamu: The Beginning. It was made fully. Only snippets of it were played on CNN, and then the company took it down and just never released the footage. And so the reason that became culturally impactful was because it was being talked about. There were a lot of people hyping it up. There were people that worked on it and were ready to go with it. If it's just like a movie that was just made and there was nothing going on with it outside of that, it wouldn't really be considered lost media. It would in a sense, but not in the same vein. Like, the creator of Billy and Mandy actually has a really good example of this. They made a movie that was going to be funded fully through I don't remember if it was Patreon or if it was GoFundMe, something like that. But they made a movie with a bunch of actors. It was rated R. It was crazy. It was a puppet-based movie in the same exact style of Billy and Mandy. And after like 10 years of working on this movie alone, destroying their house for scenes of this movie, and just hours and days of editing and money going into this thing, it never got released and will never be released fully because it got into a big legal dispute, because a lot of the actors and voice actors that were on there weren't supposed to do it because of SAG-AFTRA. They weren't allowed to by the Actors and Writers Guild, basically, because they were never hit up for the movie itself.
Huh. What?
So, like, that movie, fully lost media, people want it to be found, could never be found. But because of the way it was made, because of the cultural impact behind the person who made it, and the type of cultural impact it would have had if it was released, that is why it's considered lost media.
Huh. God, it's been a while since I've thought about Billy and Mandy. Jeez. That now, do you think that movie will ever come out?
Oh, no. SAG-AFTRA got
No
into
chance?
a giant legal battle with this dude, and he was just not about it. So he was like, okay, I'm not releasing it then.
Oh, he just pulled the plug?
He pulled the plug because it would have ended multiple people's careers, essentially. Like, not only did it, like, get him into a bunch of legal issues, but every actor and voice actor that was a part of it, that was a part of SAG-AFTRA, would have also gotten their careers ended. No one would work with them. They'd be completely barred from working on any movies from then on. So it was not worth it.
But what a story to tell, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Hey, how come you're not in movies anymore? Well, I worked with Maxwell Adams and had to call it there.
Yeah, just about.
I wonder how many times, like outside of legal complications, I wonder how many times that's happened where a movie's been made, effort's been put in, sets have been built, and it's just, we can't release this.
Oh, dude, I bet it's happened so much. So much. I bet there are movies out there that we have never heard of that has happened to.
Well, I mean, we kind of got that with what's it called? Batgirl.
Batgirl, Coyote versus Acme, like
Yep.
a lot of movies that happened to.
I'd be more forgiving if it were like development hell, like it never got off the ground in the first place.
Yeah.
But when it's those, it's like, oh, we filmed it and we have an edit. We're just not gonna put it out there.
It's just like, okay, then why tell us? What is the
Yeah.
point then?
Aren't you excited for this thing we're not putting out? I guess so. Thanks.
Yeah, it's super frustrating when that happens, especially modern day, because it's just like you can just release this movie anywhere and it will probably make more money for you than anything. Throw it on a streaming service, throw it up on YouTube. You could do that. Like you could just put this thing anywhere and it won't be lost media and people won't be frustrated with you. Like come on.
Like, put it up there even if it sucks.
Yeah, seriously.
Why, yes, I would like to see a sequel to Looney Tunes back in action. Speaking of, like, I wouldn't consider it lost media, just real hard to find. Did you ever see the Dexter's Laboratory movie?
I did not.
It's called Ego Trip, and I used to have it on VHS way back when. But finding it nowadays is, hell of a time finding it.
I think, actually, I think I have seen it quite recently because me and my fiance, we got into watching Dexter and we pirated it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like dealing with getting another subscription and then having to get a different subscription for its sequel. So I was just like, okay, we're just going to pirate it, not dealing with it. And while I was looking it up on this pirated software, I did see a Dexter movie. And I think it was Ego Trip. Or a Dexter Laboratory movie. I didn't click on it because that's not what I was looking for, but I think I did see that. So it's out there.
If you ever get the chance, I highly recommend it.
All right. I will most definitely watch it then.
I wonder if there's any more out there that's just. I feel like I'm opening a rabbit hole for myself to fall down. Oh no. I've gained a new hyper fixation. Thanks. now, Void. We have just passed an hour. How are we feeling?
Yeah, we can go for another 30.
Sounds good. Now, where you plan to head with your channel? Like, I know you've sort of tone shifted from commentary to lost media. Are you gonna keep kind of heading down the horror path?
Yeah, probably on this channel. The plan from here, because it's working, this took me a lot. It took me a lot to figure out what to do, how to do it, and how to like kind of succeed on YouTube.
Mm.
And I think I'm starting to wrap my head around it, and I think I'm kind of understanding what YouTube itself wants. And so I'm going with the flow, and I really don't mind the path that I'm taking here with it. So I'm sticking with it basically until I retire, I guess. This isn't going to be my only channel. I do have a second channel with some videos on it, and I'm probably going to do more like I don't know if you've watched any of these content creators I'm about to list off, but like Curtis Connor, Danny Gonzalez kind of content over on that channel, because it's not just like, I like YouTube. I like making content in general, and I like editing my videos. So just making a variety of stuff would very, very much be of benefit to my mental health. But I came to the understanding I can't do that on one channel. Not anymore. If it was 2015 to 2018, I would be able to. But because we're in the Mr. Beast era, not going to happen.
Are you going to be giving away $1 million?
I wish. I wish I could. But yeah, I asked my audience what they want. They've told me what they want, and I'm not against it. So for the foreseeable future, until they change their mind, this channel is going to be a horror channel.
I called out into the yawning chasm that is the YouTube audience, and they responded with a single word: Fortnite.
Dude, I would probably have quit by now if I was told to be a Fortnite content creator. I don't know if I have it in me.
What kind of videos do you guys want to see? Can you make Fortnite highlights?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have it in me for that. That would be the death of me right there.
So a couple of years ago, I tried to do... So I wanted to make videos that actively made fun of popular YouTube trends at the time. You know, reaction videos, you laugh, you lose, that sort of thing. And I made one, just one, and I hated it the entire time. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That video sucks. But the thing is, I think shame makes me stronger. It's still up. That video's terrible, but it's still there.
Yeah, that's how I am too. A lot of my older videos really suck. There's one video that sucked so bad that I refused to delete it so that way I could look back at it in shame. It's called...
Humble yourself.
It's called Magic Sucks. And it was supposed to be like a diss on like TikTok witches and all that fun. Because at the time when I made that video, there was this trend going on called like witch talk, where a bunch of women were doing like fake magic and pretending to be witches and all this fun. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll talk about that. And that was probably one of my worst videos. The audio hurts to listen to. Physically, it hurts to listen to, because I was editing off of like a really bad laptop with a really pristine editing software. The mic that I was using was a lavalier mic, and I didn't know how to clip it on right, so it keeps hitting, it like flapped on the shirt that I had it on, and it kept hitting my chest, so you just hear pops every other like sentence. It was bad. It was really bad, and I had no direction with the video either.
So to my knowledge, I don't think I've ever deleted a video off my channel. Probably should, but like even my first like video ever is up there, and I started off wanting to make gaming content, which occasionally I try to go back to once in a while. But I was playing Overwatch, and just no editing, raw dogging it through OBS, and then don't edit it, just ship it to YouTube. And I could not be more ashamed.
I mean, that's how it was for a while. I think a lot of people have the misconception of, especially when you first start out on YouTube or you're just a viewer on YouTube, that making videos is really easy simply because you're sitting there watching someone else's YouTube video and you're looking at it and you're like, oh, this is like a 20-minute video. What do you do? Talk? Play a game? Yeah. And they don't realize that, like, making these videos, if you're watching it in like a content creator perspective, and I do this all the time now since I've been editing as much as I do, You can tell how much work gets put into these videos by like the way the audio sounds, the way they're cutting it, the pacing of a video. Not only that, but like the storytelling going on in a video, and if it's like gameplay stuff, right? If they're like trying to get you to focus on something, maybe they zoom into it. Maybe they're like darkening the background but lighting up whatever they're trying to show. Stuff like that. It takes way more effort to actually make a video than most people understand. And at the very beginning of your YouTube journey, you yourself do not understand that. So you just like just like I can upload whatever I want and it'll be fine. I'm about to break in like 1 million subscribers this time around.
Well, like, so I'm gonna shout out a channel real quick because he does this type of storytelling very well. It's those type of game breakdowns where it's sort of a minute by minute, not like a let's play and then like talk over it, try to explain it, but it's like following the step by step of the gameplay, but an actual structured narrative to explain everything going on. But it's a gentleman on YouTube by the name of Flawed Peacock, and something about his structure, I want to understand how he does it, because it's. You ever see somebody do something so well that it's frustrating?
Yeah.
It's that. I'm like, how the hell does he do it?
It is a lot of time, a lot of effort. You have to be very, very dedicated.
So, and I believe I can extend this question to you as well, in terms of, you know, more documentarian style videos covering, you know, specific topics. Is where does it start? Is it the gathering footage? Is it the script writing? Or is it this combination of like watch a portion of it, write note, watch portion?
For me, it depends on what I'm trying to talk about. A lot of how my videos end up starting is I'm looking for something to talk about in general, because I'm like, okay, I want to make a YouTube video. How do I do that? How do I keep up with my upload schedule? And what I do from there is, if I find a topic that I am interested in, I will go to Reddit. I will go to 4chan, rip 4chan. It's gone. People are probably going to get mad at me for saying I go onto 4chan, but I do not post there. A lot of horrible people do, and I talk about a lot of horrible people, so it just, you know, 2 and 2, that's usually a place I end up going to.
That's how it shakes out.
There's not much I can do about it, honestly. A lot of bad stuff comes from 4chan. But
yeah,
once I figure out where the pieces of this story are, I then start diving in, doing my research, and while I'm researching, I am writing. Once I'm done writing, I then do a voiceover or I film a video for it. Then I edit and look for footage and whatever else I need at that point. I wish I didn't do that, because it would actually save me a lot of time if I just gathered all the footage that I needed beforehand. But I really suck at that, so it's just how it turns out.
I get you. Well, because I would like, however, the type of videos I'd like to do isn't documentarian, but like reviews without doing reviews, if that makes sense.
So like game review, product review.
A little bit of both. Also, I've actually been, so I have a hobby outside of YouTube that it occurs to me, if I start showing people at least how I do it, it could help. I repair electronics in my spare time.
That's pretty sick.
And I like I hate the current culture of like this controller has stick drift, better throw it away and get a new one.
Yeah.
And like a lot of times it's not even like, oh, you have to desolder the connection points and resolder in a new joystick or anything like that. It's just a lot of the times it just needs a cleaning.
Yeah.
And not even in like the odd tinkering, restoration ASMR sense, just like a general cleaning, upkeep, maintenance. And I think it's woefully under utilized, especially on YouTube, where it's like, I got this new controller and I threw away my old one. Or if you ever watch Wings of Redemption,
I haven't watched him for fun or anything, but I have been exposed to him. Yeah.
like, well, because the reason I bring him up is when I was describing that, I had the image in my head of where he ricochets the PS4 controller off his wall. I can't take this shit no more, man. I don't know but I'm just not sure how I would structure it, because I know for a fact I don't want to be talking over like live mic while I'm doing it, because I feel like it'd be filled with a lot of like
Really good way to get rid of that. I had to do that as well. I just did it right now. God damn it. But in recording, you just listen to that over and over and just cut it out. And you'll notice that when you are talking, you will do it less and less. It takes a while, but it does work.
Honestly, I think what helps me outside of like straight up editing it out for the times I can't do it is having a focal point to talk to.
Yeah, that is a big help.
Like I used to have one at my previous place of living. I have no clue where it went, and it's my favorite thing to bring up out of context. But I had a clown skeleton.
Okay.
But it was like, it's one of those like little dollar store Halloween decorations where it's like the little plastic skeleton. Yeah. But he has a clown nose glued on with like a little hat and a jacket.
Yeah.
But I had him kind of thumbtacked up on my wall directly behind my mic. That way when I, like did this show, I could talk directly at that and it would keep my head at the same spot and I could focus on like I'm talking to a person.
Yeah. Yeah, that probably would really help.
I just got to pick one of the superhero figures I got around here and talk at that. What? I collect things. Leave me alone. I don't know. It's something I feel I need to do research on. Stretch my legs,
Oh, yeah. Everything that you do on YouTube should just be at first an experiment. Just kind of messing around, figuring out how to do things, and then once you get your foot in the door and you're more comfortable with microphones, talking to a camera, editing software, at that point you can start looking for like a niche and stuff and all the other things that people tell you to do for YouTube and all that. It's always a mistake going into YouTube with a niche in mind without first learning how to do literally everything else that you need to that no one else tells you to do. Like thumbnail design, for instance. That horrible thing to go into YouTube without knowing.
You mean my reaction image with Fortnite fonts not cutting it? Oh no. I have 30 videos lined up that look like that.
A lot of people have that that mindset of just like I will do this video and I will make this type of thumbnail and that will somehow, after 200 videos of just that with 10 views on all of them, is going to get me where I want to be. And it ends up with a lot of frustration. You can either go into YouTube as a hobby, or you can go into it with the mindset of a professional. Rarely can you go into it with both and come out successful. And a lot of people, especially me, I had this exact issue. So it's basically like talking to myself from like 6 months ago. Like, just not understanding how exactly YouTube works and what YouTube itself wants is a major, major issue. Kicks everyone in the butt every single time without failure. Which is just understanding your audience and making good thumbnails and content. So long as you can give your audience, your specific audience, what they want, and you can package it in a way that other people outside of your audience can look at and be like, oh, that's nice. Which really isn't hard, honestly.
Yeah. And like the usual way that at least I tackle mine is that I'm here for me. I'm here to have fun.
It's a good way to go about it. It's a stressless way of going about it, honestly.
Well, like once in a while, I've keep in contact with some previous guests on this show, and I have like friends that I've made through this show for like 5+ years. Well, I've been doing this show since like 2017.
Dang.
But I think right now you're interview number 92.
That is crazy.
I think. That said, I have one interview that I need to redo because I really screwed it up the first time around. Like, it never got uploaded. So, lost media, haha. but it was with a well-known horror channel, and I completely flubbed the entire thing.
Damn.
But no, like this entire this entire show is based off of just I want to know more about people that make videos on YouTube because I want to know what goes through their heads.
We're a special breed of mental illness is what it is, honestly.
Yeah.
This is what it tends to be. No YouTuber is a normal person from what I've seen.
I've got this brand of autism that occasionally makes things.
Just about.
And the thing is, that's not a dig at anybody. Like I'm somewhere on that spectrum, quite literally. But like to the point where, again, another fun thing to bring up out of context. So with my masks, I have multiple masks in a box in my closet. So I occasionally like to say that I have an entire box full of my own face.
I mean, hey, that's pretty sick, honestly.
I need to start wearing the others. I only usually stick to the Casey Jones one or the hockey mask.
It's about the Casey Jones mask is sick.
Thank you. I found it at Spirit Halloween. But I so say you could start over again. Like start your whole YouTube channel from minute 1. You don't have to go back in time, but just a fresh reboot. Would you start with Lost Media, or would you sort of come in from a different avenue?
It would depend on how I want my audience. Because the way I'm tackling YouTube is I'm coming at it from a want and a desire to succeed that has been with me since I was like 11. Maybe even younger than that, whenever I watched my first PewDiePie video. Once I saw him, I immediately knew what I wanted to do. And it wasn't just like a little fucking, oh, I'm going to be a YouTuber someday kind of thing and then like fuck off and make like vlogs or something. I was like, no, I think this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, no matter what, forever. And so I've always tried to tackle this as professional as possible and as internet adjacent as possible to try and make my audience kind of similar to how I view things. And so that's why I started off with commentary, because I thought it'd be a real easy way to do that. Not the case, especially if you don't know how to edit off the bat, or how to talk and present things off the bat. So it would depend on who I want my audience to be if I were to restart. But I think maybe for this channel specifically, it would be lost media and horror stuff. Simply because it's right there for the it's right there for the pickings. Like it is interesting to edit. It's interesting to research. It's fun to see what people can bring to the table with this kind of thing. And it's also extremely interesting content overall. Like, if I'm to stumble upon a horror video out in the open myself, the only way I'm not watching it, realistically, is if it's voiced by AI or has an AI thumbnail, and that is almost it. Because every single horror concept I've seen on YouTube has been somewhat interesting in some way. And it's really hard to not click on that kind of content. So it's something that I'm a little passionate about, but also it's something I know that there's a giant audience for.
Yeah. Well, that and, like, specifically, like, documentary style or just general coverage of, like, a horror topic is fascinating, because even, however, it feels like the information that is given by, creators in this niche, or it's sort of fluid. So you could watch 3 separate channels all covering the same topic, and you'll get 3 different takeaways each time, and even varying evidence.
Oh yeah. Yeah, one of the...
And
oh, go for it.
what's that? Oh no, and I was like, while I'm personally not a horror channel, I adore the way that, like, even, like, horror writers, narrators, and, documentarians share information, even inside their own channels. It's like, hey, so-and-so covered this video as well. Here are their findings, and here are my findings on top of those findings.
Yeah, you'll get a lot, and I mean a lot, of differences in some of these videos. Which is really cool, because it just shows, like, some of these rabbit holes go way deeper than a lot of people looked. Like, there's a whole segment in the video I made called Sad Satan that is just not there. A whole sleuth of information that I just didn't put in there, because personally, I do not think it's relevant to the story at all. But a lot of other people did. And some of the comments on that video are angry at me for not adding it, because they think it's like a whole thing, and they think that, like, yes, it actually does matter to the story. In my opinion, it does not whatsoever, and it seems completely out of the blue, and, like, people are just grasping at straws, and the content creator who brought it up in the first place is already a very unreliable narrator for things that they did with almost every other one of their videos. So I just didn't add it.
I do, that is something to take into account, is some of the evidence might be incorrect, factually inaccurate, or just plain made up. But now, so we are actually, as per my recording, we've just crested an hour 30 minutes. I do have a question that I think, it apropos of previous discussion, is warranted.
All right.
If someone listening to this video wanted to start a YouTube channel like today, right now, what would be the best piece of advice you could give to somebody just fresh, no prior experience?
Figure out what you want to do. Go from there, because no matter what you upload, if you put effort into that upload, you're going to get someone to view it, and eventually you are going to get some subscribers. Figure out how to edit. Don't just like learn how to cut. Don't learn how to just mess with audio. I mean, like, learn how to add sound effects, learn when to add sound effects. Try and figure out how to make edits smooth and make sense. And once you do all that, within the first 100 subscribers, ask them what they want. It has been the biggest successor for my channel. It has been the most straightforward way to go about making my content. Ask your viewers what they want to see, because at the end of the day, there is zero algorithm on YouTube when it comes down to your content specifically. How it works is based off of a system. They don't tell you this. I had to figure this out through a lot of testing. It works through a hot and cold system where they feed your content, your fresh content, to a hot audience, which means an audience that is ready to consume whatever you yourself are making. So let's say you release, let's say you have like maybe 20 subscribers. 5 of those subscribers watch every single video you posted. Those 5 are going to be the hot audience. It's going to send it to them first. They're going to watch it. From there, it gets sent to a warm audience. That warm audience is people who may have heard of you, didn't watch all your videos. If they watch it, it gives a positive signal to YouTube to kind of push to similar viewership. And then it just kind of goes from there, and it will snowball to a cold audience. That is how the growth on YouTube works for every video, no matter what. You want your videos to appeal to your hot audience as much as possible, which sounds like it sucks because you're like bending the knee to your audience and it's not as freeing as what most people think of YouTube as in the first place. But your hot audience is there for you, and dependent on the type of content you're already making, it's more than likely that audience is going to be there for that. So if you just start experimenting and throwing like random crap at a wall, you're not really going to get anywhere. If you have a video that succeeds, no matter how small that success is, figure out why it succeeded by just straight up asking your audience. They will probably tell you because they want to see more of that, whatever that is. That is honestly it. If you want to blow up really fast, figure it out through the audience you have built. There's some channels out there that have blown up with their first video that went viral crazy fast. Like there's this dude who made his entire career off of being like a guru by being like, my first video blew up and hit 1 million views, and I'm going to teach you how to make your first video blow up and hit 1 million views. I know this dude because I watched his videos. That will not work 90% of the time, because the only way that works is if you're 1, a Mr. Beast clone, 2, a kid's channel, or 3, a YouTube guru who is designing videos specifically for the algorithm to pick it up and show it to other people who are wanting to learn how to make YouTube videos. So don't try and do that. Make what you want to make. See what your audience wants from that. That's it. That's it. So, and learn thumbnails, for the love of God, please. Please, please, please. Thumbnails are so much more important than people realize. They're really easy to make them look good if you just know color theory and 3-point perspective. That's it.
So you heard it here first, party people. I'm going to have to cancel all the surprise egg and Spider-Man and Elsa videos I had planned. I guess it'll just be reviewing car parts or something. No, you know what? I think I'm gonna take your advice as well. And you know what? I'll ask the party people at home. Hey kids, what would you like to see on this channel? I know it's unfocused, but that's kind of the point. But what rabbit hole should I, deploy my parachute as I fall into?
If your audience is here for the chaos, then they're gonna stay here for the chaos, brother. If they tell you that they want more of what you're doing already, it's golden sign, golden opportunity. What's up?
Or
Sorry, that was my kid.
Oh, you're all good. I think the only piece of advice, or I would say not advice, but an expectation to set for yourself if you are starting like brand new, know nothing like I did. Your first couple videos, it doesn't matter how many of them, but your first couple of videos are gonna suck.
Oh yeah. But that's okay. That is a-okay. Because the reality of it, and this sounds harsh, but it's probably the most freeing thing once you realize it, nobody cares. When you're starting out, no one really cares about what you make because no one's watching. And even if they are watching, that's a good thing, and they probably don't care what you make next.
Well, that, and there's a question that I think falls by the wayside when people start their YouTube channels that they don't ask themselves, which is, am I having any fun?
Yeah, that's a big one. A lot of people come into YouTube thinking that it is a way to get rich, and I know this because I'm in multiple subreddits of people that are just like trying to, like, r/YouTubers. Hate to call you guys out, but you guys need to get your priorities straight. There are so many people that start YouTube because of the idea of the Mr. Beast Kai Cenat fame, right? Where people come into this thinking that, like, if they just play games and they talk a certain way or they edit a certain way, they're going to blow up and they don't have to worry about money ever again in their life. That is not the point. Not at all the point.
So,
you want to make content that you want to make.
So do us all a favor. Throw away the Vine boom sound effect, the bruh sound effect, and that one anime wow one with the echo.
Yeah, only PewDiePie gets to use that effect. Everyone else has stole it from him, and it doesn't fit with your content, so stop using it.
I think the only other person I've seen use it effectively was, I don't know if you've ever seen this stuff, Lazy Purple.
No, I have not.
I recommend him. He hasn't put anything out in a while, which is slightly concerning. But super cool guy, made a whole series about the Team Fortress 2 mercenaries. And, like, if I remember, it's called the How It Feels to Play.
I think I've seen one of those videos.
Yeah.
I think I saw the Pyro one.
I recommend all of them. They're all excellent. But with that, I think we will draw this here interview to a close. And we're about 10 minutes over. But I do have one last question for you, Void, before we get out of here.
Go for it.
Would you be open to coming back as a return to it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%. That'd be sick.
No. Am I gonna see a video on your channel tomorrow, like exposing Fresno?
Maybe on my second channel, not so much on my first, not anymore. But maybe we'll see. But Void, thank you so much for coming on. This has been an absolute blast. Do you have a video on your channel that you are particularly proud of that you'd like to see in the description of this video? Oh my god, dude. Authors Dive into Insanity. Please, for the love of God, people watch that video. I put so much effort into it. It is one of the wildest rabbit holes I have ever gone down. It is gorgeous. It is wild. It's crazy. I can't hype it up enough. It's one of my least viewed horror videos. Please watch it.
See, I'm hunting for it. Oh, there you are. Poorlyplannedcomics.com. Nice.
It doesn't seem like anything crazy with that name. It is insane. It is also really depressing.
Oh. Check it out for a happy, fun time, party people. But Void, again, thank you so much for coming on. There will be links to not only your channel, but this here video, and links in the description. And was there anything else you wanted to tell the party people at home before we leave?
Subscribe to Void the Warlock. Like, subscribe on this video right now. Not really, man. I don't know. This was fun, honestly. This was really fun. Once I saw it hit the 1 hour, 30 minute mark, I was just like, damn. I gotta stop yapping. Crazy.
What do you mean I gotta shut up? Hey, man, you're always welcome back on for another round.
Yeah, just let me know. I will be... I'm planning out a 10K special stream. It's 11K now. It's been a fucking ride this week, honestly. I didn't think I was going to make it this far. And I'm writing like 3 videos right now. So I'm going to try my best to make time for... Because I have a buddy who also wants to do a podcast, and I got to hit him up. So you let me know, and we will most definitely schedule something out, because this was amazing. This was fun. And this was a really good first impression, by the way. You're very easy to talk to.
Thank you.
So, yeah, dude.
I really appreciate that, actually. But with that, party people, we will call this here episode to a close. Please go check out Void's work. It's fantastic. But with that, party people, this has been Demasked. My name is Fresman, and I'll see all of you next time.